Welcome back to the Crash Out League TV. It's episode 3, and we are mad excited to give y'all a recap from week number 1. It's your host, ADUB, and I'm with my co-host, Manny Boy. And when I say we ready to take off from y'all and let y'all know what happened in this league, Manny, go ahead and talk to him.
We have had some fantastic football, both in the fantasy world and in the NFL world. It has been wonderful games up and down the slate. Special shout out to that Sunday night game because those were two Titans going at it.
Ooh.
And I mean, when you got a game like that, it's going to be knockout for knockout. And hey, shout out to Matt Prater, who just joined the team like 3 days ago, hits the
Yeah.
game winning field goal. You can't write stuff better than that. But nonetheless, we are here in episode 3 covering week 1. Hey, Dub, why don't we go ahead and look at the scores for the week?
There we go.
So, as y'all can see here, we start off Smooth Criminal picking up a win against Mo City Menace. Team Get Back not able to overcome Coach Barlow and Zedarian DeLion Lamb. Jamirical Workers picking up a big-time win over the rookie Gridiron Cartel. Team Luck, disappointing week for him as he is not able to overcome the equally as disappointing week for God Bless America. And then the Prodigal Sons not able to take down Team Money Manny in 2 inches too big. He gets the win there. Those are your week 1 recap scores of the week.
Let's jump straight into it and reviews our games of the week from last week. I believe that we picked the Prodigal Sons versus 2 inches too big, typically because it was a 50-50% for each side. Any side could go get it. And the side that went to go get it was 2 inches too big, with Coach Manny putting a 119.48 versus the Prodigal Sons 105.82. I mean, this is a 14-point difference. This isn't that much of a blowout. This was a very close game. And to me, what it came down to is right here. I don't have to scroll no further. The quarterback room. You got Baker Mayfield pulling up 22 points and .58. Then you got Dak Prescott pulling up 7.82 points. That is the difference maker to me right there. We talk about you missing 14 points. Those are the 14 points right there. I mean, you got Dak Prescott putting up 7 points here, but then if you scroll down, you got Justin Fields on your bench, a young go-getter that put up
Big time that
29
hurts.
points. If you
Yep.
put him in a game, you put yourself just that closer in order to win. That's the biggest difference to me.
Yeah. To me, honestly, there's a lot more to just the quarterback room. I think it's the backfield as a whole. You have Christian McCaffrey, who got so much usage in that week 1 game, blowing out his projection. And then James Cook, also a big time contributor in that week 1 win for the Bills. That's one thing. A lot of people think, man, they're just going to kind of tush push and die with Josh Allen. But we've seen with this team in that week 1, they get at the 1. Yeah, they might try to get Josh Allen in first. If he can't get in, I think they're so happy to hand that ball off to Cook and let him punch it in for the touchdown. He did that during that Sunday night game. So I think really the backfield is your biggest difference. Both teams had a disappointing wide receiver room, not really able to do all that much. Both teams pretty much even in the tight end room. The flex was a big time jump for the Prodigal Sons, but at the end of the day, both teams left some major points on the bench. But like you said, I think the biggest thing right there, quarterback play. How can you make sure that you've got the right people in at the right time? Because in the Crash Out League, man, there's no room for error. And unfortunately, Prodigal Sons just couldn't overcome 2 inches too big.
Yeah, let's go ahead and check out another game of the week that we had. Let's move it on up here north, where we got Team Get Back, who put up 107.14 points, to Team CDL with Coach Barlow, who put up 116.86 zero 8 points. I mean, this is as close as it gets, people. This is as close as it gets.
Oh
And
yeah,
once again, Coach Barlow with CDL, quarterback room is the difference maker. You got Jalen Hurts who put up 24 points versus Bo Nix 6 points. I mean, that's almost an 18-point difference right there. And that is what killed Coach Cam this week. You got to get your quarterbacks to play better. You got to get your quarterbacks to show up and show out because you never know how the rest of the team is going to play out. So I think the
right.
quarterback room once again hurt.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, this is one of those games that hurts you as a fantasy football manager just to think, God, if I only had plugged in the right guy, or maybe I made just a couple other changes, I might be right there to pick up a week one win. Week one is always one of those. It can go one way or the other because you're not too sure, how is this team going to perform? You're, not everybody, practically nobody's in mid-season form quite yet. So how are they going to be able to perform? And so, like you said, with Coach Cam, it just wasn't the week for him. But we know Coach Cam, we know Team Get Back, we know they're going to continue to pound the pavement and they're going to try to get a bounce back win in week two. But nonetheless, Coach Barlow putting the right guys in at the right time. Listen, we saw him during that Thursday night game. He was sweating, getting Jalen Hurts every touch that he could, and
Mm-hmm.
the Eagles gave it to him. So
Mm-hmm.
major upside for him there. I think he'll be his QB1 going throughout the season. But nonetheless, this was a great game. It came down to Monday night. But Coach Cam just couldn't pull out the win as TJ Hawkinson not able to get enough points to carry him to that victory. Only 3 for 4 receptions with 15 yards. He needed just a few more. And I also was with Coach Barlow, and he was sweating that game out as well. So nonetheless, shout out to both squads. Fantastic game. But Coach Barlow picking up the win in week one.
Now let's go ahead and move on to one of my favorite segments, and that is the crash out of the week. Now, for those that's returning, that knows what this is, you know what's coming. For those who's new to the channels and you watching this, thank you, by the way.
Appreciate it.
Uh, Crash out of the week is the team or player who did not show up in the previous week like they were supposed to. They didn't get their projected numbers. They didn't show up and play as hard as they could, and they ultimately caused their team to lose. Or the whole team didn't show up and they let down the whole organization. Now, you're looking at all these numbers that you see in front of me right now, and you like, man, it's so many to choose from. How do you decide who do you choose? But there's a no-brainer to me than none other than Team Luck with
Yeah.
Coach Lucky. And
Yeah.
that's only because we've been uplifting and talking about him all off-season long. I mean, we talked about how he been in the championship 2 years running. Even though he hasn't coming out on top, we was like, third year is the charm. Third time is the charm. And to show up in your first game and not only go under 100, but go under 90,
Right.
that is not a good way to start the season. I
No, not at all.
understand wholeheartedly. It's just the first game. But y'all got to understand to start off with 83, if it come down to the wire at the time to get for playoffs, this
Right.
first week can hurt him because of points.
Absolutely.
But that is my crash out of the week right here.
Yeah. I got to follow you up on that one, ADUB. That is the certain crash out of the week. Lamar Jackson is a 40-yard rushing touchdown, which is, I'm not going to say easy for him, but it's almost routine for him. He is a 40-yard rushing touchdown from Lamar Jackson having half of his total point production for the week. I mean, that is just unacceptable. But if you look at the bottom of his lineup, starting with Mark Andrews, I mean, that's the biggest difference maker. You start with Mark Andrews, only 1.5 points. He was not a major factor whatsoever in that Sunday night game. Xavier Worthy going down early with an injury. That was a big blow to him. He did not return in that game. And then Matt Gay, only 3 points when he was projected for 7. And then, of course, the Detroit defense not knowing what hit them going against Green Bay in Lambeau Field. 0 points as they allowed 27 points on the night. I mean, just between Mark Andrews and Xavier Worthy, that right there is 24 points, 25 with the 0.38 and the 0.70 added to his total. If they just match projection, not even boomed this week, but just match projection, that gets him the win this week and avoids being the crash out of the week. But again, got to put the right guys in at the right time. It is week 1, but got to stay true to the brand. Coach Luck and Team Luck are the crash outs of the week.
All right, let's move on and show these guys our updated standards here in the Crash Out League. As you guys can see, Team Jermichael Workers, aka Team Fabo, Coach Fabian, is our #1 guy at the moment. He's at the top of the pinnacle.
Top dog.
He is undefeated, starting off 1-0, but most importantly, he put up the most points. Now, points matter in this league because when it comes to playoff time and teams be tying up at the end and you trying to see who's going to get in, it's going to come down to points. So him putting up the most points this week is huge for him.
Yep.
And it could very much impact how he gets into the playoffs if that's what it's decided to. Then you got Smooth Criminal at 2, 2 inches too big at 3, somebody who's returning in, putting their foot down. You got CDL at 4, GBK at 5, most of the minutes at 6, Team Get Back at 7, the Prodigal Son at 8, Gridiron Cartel at 9, a rookie, and Team Luck at 10.
Now, fellas, it's just week 1. A lot of time to bounce back. Can't let this one hurt you too much. Sit on it, but know that you got to bounce back quickly as Thursday night is just right around the corner. Got to get your lineups in. Got to get the right thing going. But that is your power rankings so far in this week 1 as we head into week 2. Now, we got something special for you guys, right? ADUB, I don't know if you've checked your email recently, but we got a memo from the commish, from the head office. We got a memo today saying that the commish wanted us to preview something on this episode specifically. You found it? You found it.
He wants to tell them?
This week. This episode. Today.
You sure?
Today. Hey, it has the stamp and everything. It's got the seal. It's got the crash out seal on it and everything. So, A-Dub, since you've got the information right in front of you, what's this sneak peek that we got?
So, the cat's out the bag, as you could say. The commission wants to get this information to the coaches in the league. And it's about Rivalry Week. Now, to remind you guys about Rivalry Week, this is something new that the commission is bringing to the league, to bring more spice into the league and more competitors to the league throughout, to make people want to go out there and get wins. So he created this lineup in order to create beef, competition, animosity.
Oh, yeah.
In between coaches in the league that makes it exciting as you're in the regular season before you get to the playoffs.
Right.
I guess it's time for you guys to find out some of the things that he wants us to tell you today. And one of those things is Rivalry Week is set for week 5.
Boom,
it's set for week 5, baby.
Week 5.
I know it's week number 2, so it seemed early. And week 5 is right around the corner.
Coming down the lane. It's coming
It's
down.
going down. Week 5, you will be playing somebody, and not only for bragging rights,
What
just to
else is on the
remind the
line?
people,
What else is on the line, ADUB?
your waiver wire is on the line. Now, hear me out. Hear me out. The rivalry team that you play, if and when you beat them, you'll be able to steal their waiver wire. Now, hear me out. Don't get my words mixed up. You get to steal their waiver wire from the time that you beat them all the way to the trade deadline. Not after, not next season. From the time that you beat them to the time of the trade deadline. That means you could beat them in week 5, and then somebody start popping in week 9, and you know that your rivalry has the number 1 waiver wire pick, and you
I'll take
decide,
that.
hey, bro, say, let me get that. Let me get that up off you. And you'll submit that request to the commish, and the commish will flip flop your picks. So you could go from the 8th spot in a waiver wire to the number 1 spot because your rival has that number. So not only are you playing for bragging rights, and don't get it twisted, bragging rights is important because you get to brag that you beat your rival for a whole year. This is
Whole
the
year.
only time in
Whole
the
year.
season where we're doing rivalry week. So you get to brag for a whole year, no matter what happens for the rest of the year or the offseason. Didn't I beat you during rivalry week? Ain't you my son? Right. All right
Right.
then.
Right.
Nothing
Right.
else matters. So not only do you get to do that, but you also get to get a huge pickup for you in a waiver wire. Some of you might not think so much of it, but there's others who are waiver wire wizards.
Right.
If you know, you know.
Yeah.
That really depends on those type of pickups. So that
Now,
is what's coming.
AW, if you scroll further down
There's
the
more.
memo,
There's
there's
more.
more to the information. Yeah, there's more. We got we've got a sneak peek at who's our first rival.
No. He
Yeah.
definitely don't want us to do this. No,
No,
man.
no,
He definitely don't want us to
it
do
came
this.
from him. It came from him. It's real. Look at it again. Yeah, I promise you it's real. It's real.
It gotta be. It's in bold text too. He really wants to give him a sneak peek.
Hey Dub, who's our sneak peek for the rivalry week?
First matchup announced for rivalry week. We got Team Get Back with Coach Cam versus Mo City Business and Coach Preach. I mean, come on, man.
Oh
We
yes,
talking
sir.
about
Oh
two
yes.
coaches that go at it constantly, talking that noise, and
The
based off what
whole
happened
off
last
season.
season, oh my,
Whole off season too.
oh
Oh
my
yeah.
God. Come on, commish. I'm not gonna lie, you cook with that one. You cook with
I,
that one.
I'm talking this this week 5's got to be the same kind of feeling in the air when it's Texas OU, when it's Texas A&M, when it's Pitt and West Virginia, Ohio State and Michigan. I mean, this has got to be one of those weeks because even if your season doesn't go the way you wanted it to, you still beat your rival. That's for some coaches that has saved their entire jobs is
Come on
beating their
now.
rival. And that's the
Come on now.
same thing here. So appreciate the commish for sending over the information. I hope y'all enjoyed that little sneak peek. But for those of you maybe not in this league, wanting to be in this league, or watching for fun, tune in for that week 5 episode. So there's going to be fireworks on that one. I can almost guarantee it.
Now, before we move on to our next thing, there's a segment that we forgot to go through. Let's talk about the bounty board. What happened
Yep.
to the bounty board that went
Yep.
down weeks ago? So, like you guys know from last week, any team on here can be on the bounty board for somebody to collect. And it's all determined with the commission deciding based off wins, losses, what you did that week, Who did you draft? I mean, who did you pick up in the waiver wire? How big was your win? How big was your loss? Now, we know from the currents that was revealed last week, we had one team that popped up. Most City Menace was on the block for most wanted
Yep.
in week
Yep.
one. And Smooth Criminal came in, shots fired, and took
Took him
down
out.
Mo City Menace in week one. So yes, Mo City Menace, you wasn't able to hold on to the bounty for too long. But nonetheless, you were still able to have that bounty for week one. Now, will there be something at the end based off what's going on this board? Who knows? But for the time being with the bounty, you was able to hold it for week one. So, with that being said, we all know, well, if his bounty was collected, what happens now? We get a new bounty for this week. A new bounty for this week. Manny, talk to me. Who do you think deserved the new bounty for week number 2?
Man, there's plenty of people who got themselves big wins, but I think you got to go with somebody who's sitting at the top. In my opinion,
Mm,
you got to go for the head honcho, and that's the Jamaica
mm.
workers and Team Fabo. Coach Fabo. He's sitting at the top of the mountain, ADUB. Who do you got?
We got Team Fabo. Coach Favorite for the
Woo!
Jamaica workers. It's just like you said. It's the head honcho right now. The top of the top, the top of the mountain, the place that everybody wants to get to at the number one spot. And that's where Team Fabo is at currently. So, Coach Fabian, you on the board. What you gonna do with it? Now, we're gonna move on to next week and we're gonna talk about what we see, who do we want to pick as our games of the week, and the next thing that I'm most excited about to bring back this week. Upset of the week? Are we there yet, Manny? Are we there yet? Week
I
2?
think we
Are
can
we
I
there
think we
yet?
can venture to say that we're there yet. I think we can venture to say that we're there. Yes, sir.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and get it popping. This is week number 2 matchups. We got Smooth Criminal versus Team Get Back. We got Mo City Minutes versus CDL. We got Gridiron Cartel versus God Bless Comerica, aka GBK. Then we got Jamaica Workers, aka Team Fabo versus the Prodigal Sons. Then we got Team Luck versus 2 inches too big. Manny, I'm not gonna lie, as I was saying all this, these matchups got me excited. I'm talking about anybody can go in any one of these matchups, and that's what I love about the Crash Out League.
Yep. Yep.
But we can only pick one game of the
Right.
week.
Yeah. So for me, my vote for game of the week has got to be two people on opposite ends of the current spectrum that we have, and that being Smooth Criminal, who is 1-0, versus Team Get Back, who's looking to get back and go even at 0-1 currently. As it stands, there is less than 1 point that separates these teams in the current projection. You know me, I love a 50-50 game, and this is as close to a 50-50 game that you can get from either one of these teams in this league. I like this one to be our matchup and our game of the week.
Pick a better game, man. It's gonna come down to plug and play, man. Simple as that. It's gonna come down to plug and
Yep.
play. Well,
Yep.
let's go ahead and talk about who can we give the Grim Reaper status to. Upset of the week, people. Upset of the week. Who are we gonna go with? Me personally, give me the rookie.
Yep.
Gridiron
Yep.
Cartel versus Team GBK. The rookie came in, didn't put up as many points last week. It was a little disappointing, but I believe that he wants to show that he's able to hang with the guys here in the crash out league. He doesn't want to
Absolutely.
feel like an outsider.
No.
So I think he takes GBK down this week, makes him 1-1, even 500, and puts him up 1-1 at even 500. I mean, look at this lineup right here. You got a great lineup between the two organizations. Depending on how you plug and play these players, how you want to sub in and move through the waiver wire, it could always come down to who players is going to show up. I mean,
Right.
the biggest
Absolutely.
name right now that we know is Brock Byers, who's dealing with a knee injury right
Yep.
now. So we don't know
Yep.
if he'll be able to play or not. But if he does, that would be a huge help to the case if Gridiron Cartel could take down Team GK.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You and me are on the same wavelength because this was going to be my upset of the week as well. What a better way to cement your flag in the middle of the field and let people know, hey, the rookie's here to play than to take down GBK. I like this one to be our upset of the week, ADUB.
Same things happening in the league. Same things. That also includes the NFL, Manny.
Absolutely. We
That
talk about
also
exciting
includes the
things. We've
NFL.
got exciting football for y'all. So, for those of you not aware, we have 2 Monday night games happening. I mean, that just sounds like a perfect Monday night to me, right? Shoot, we got 2 games going on, and it's not even going on at the same time. You can enjoy one and then enjoy the other after it. Perfect night of football, but we also have a pretty good weekend of football for you as well. Starting on Sunday, 12 o'clock Central Time, we've got an NFC North matchup. It's the Bears versus the Lions. Both teams not able to pick up a win in week one. They will try to bounce back. There's some discussion right now. Is Caleb Williams the guy? Is the coaching staff is really supporting him well enough? Are the Bears just eternally cursed as we've known them to be for the years running so far? We don't know. But they will have to answer to a very hungry Lions team and Dan Campbell, who feel like they should have won that game in Lambeau, but were not able to pull it out. And right now, I think the biggest question, how does that offensive line stand up to the Bears and keep Jared Goff protected? That's going to be a big one. And then for our second game, Chiefs versus Eagles, that's in the 325 slot. We got a rematch of the Super Bowl, both powerhouses. Now, we've seen that Xavier Worthy is still questionable to return. That's going to be the X factor in this game, is whether Xavier Worthy is going to be able to take the top off the defense, go deep, and let Patrick Mahomes throw that thing and let him run under it. We're going to have to see that. And unfortunately, it was a little bit of a slow start for Kelsey, so we'll see if he can get going here. Whereas the Eagles seem to be a well-oiled machine already in week one based on their performance against Dallas in Philly on that Thursday night. So we will certainly have to see if the gears continue to click or maybe there's a little bit of friction going on in between them. And then finally on Monday night, the early game, 6 p.m. Central Time, Bucks versus the Texans. Two teams that are packed with potential. They have a few tweaks that they got to make here and there, but outside of that, two teams that are packed with potential. They're looking to not only win their division, but to continue up higher and make a deep playoff run. So we'll see if that's able to happen. But nonetheless, Buccaneers and Texans happening at 6. So we rewind all the way back to Bears and Lions. This one, just because of the collapse of those in the blue and orange, I got to go with the Lions in this one.
Back door with you. I'm gonna pick the Lions as well. I think this is a great bounce back game for them after a disappointing loss to the Packers. I mean, disappointing really wasn't disappointing to me. I mean, I expected it.
Every week it's
Like
with
like
the
I
hat.
said,
Every
like
week
I
it's the
said,
hat.
it was gonna be a dub. And That's what it came down to. By the way, I'm 3-0 against Manny. It was a complete sweep from last week. But nonetheless, let me keep it short. Give me the Lions to bounce back to prove a point against the Bears.
We move on to Chiefs versus Eagles in the middle slot. Honestly, this could be a primetime game anywhere else in the season, but we have the luxury of getting this one at 3:30. We have the luxury of getting this one at 3:30 in the afternoon,
Okay.
so that'll be a lot of fun. Chiefs versus Eagles, just because of the way that they seem to be able to perform in that week 1 win. I got to go with the Eagles in this one. Again, it doesn't look like they had much rust coming off of the season. I think the only reason Dallas was able to run the way they did was because Jalen Carter got kicked out before a single snap happened. And that allowed them to run through the Eagles defense with some moderate success. So I think you get him back this week. I like the Eagles in this one.
Good take. That's a great take. I'm going to go with the Eagles as well. Losing Worthy is huge. Bigger than people might think, but losing him is huge for them. And I think it'll be a little bit too much with the great defense that the Eagles have. By the way, they get Jalen Carter back next game, so he will be there against the Chiefs, and that's a whole nother issue for them. So I think it's just too much for them at the moment for them to overcome the Chiefs. So give me the Eagles to win this game. And I think Manny is he watching my notebooks or something. He trying to correct his mistakes from last week. We'll find out based off his next pick to see.
I'm the one picking first.
Okay, let me pick
If
the next
anything,
one
you're
first.
picking at mine.
Let me pick
Okay,
the
go.
next
Yeah,
one.
go for it. I like it. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah,
Okay,
go ahead.
the next one we got Bucks versus Texans. Monday Night Football at 6 p.m. Give me the Buccaneers to win this game. The Texans, the
Hell
Texans,
nah.
the Texans have been struggling since last year with their O-line, and it has not been any different as you saw in week 1. CJ Stroud is still running for his life. Nico Collins don't have enough time to run his route. Now, do the Texans OC create new plays where they could get the ball to Nico fast? I hope so.
Hope
I would.
so.
I would, based off see what happened in week 1. But we'll see what happens. But give me the Buccaneers to get this win. Now let's see what he say. Let's see what he say.
Yeah. End up definitely looking at my book.
No,
Definitely checking out what I'm doing and seeing what I look. Here's the thing. He hears my great takes. He hears my
come
football
on, bro.
mind, and
Come
he
on,
goes,
bro. Come on,
"That's a
bro.
good ass take. That's a good. I gotta take that. Also, I gotta go with that."
Y'all make it make sense. I went 3-0 last week. He went 0-3. Who would be the one looking at whose notebooks and they notes?
I'm gonna look at your
I'll wait.
notebook. Anyways,
I'll wait.
I'll take the Buccaneers in this one. Texans with a horrible performance out in Los Angeles. I mean, that one was certainly a rough one to watch. They were doubling
Yeah,
Nico the entire game, couldn't get the ball to him,
yeah.
and then it's the glaring issue that we've seen time and time again. But the offensive line just cannot stop a nosebleed. I mean, it is a big time, difficult, glaring issue right now for the Texans. I wouldn't be surprised if they actually go out possibly in the trade market and try to go get themselves somewhat of an anchor now that their center is out for an extended period of time. So we will see how that affects. But again, injuries, Nico can't get the ball, offensive line can't stop the rush. I'm gonna have to go with the Buccaneers in this one on Monday night. Should be a good game nonetheless, but I think the Bucks, who are a tried and true tested team, not losing a lot of pieces in the offseason, I think they continue with the momentum that they had, especially beating Atlanta in Atlanta. That was a fun game to watch. I think they continue with the momentum and they pick themselves up another win and go 2-0.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, that's the end of the episode here, the Crash Out League TV. We appreciate y'all for tuning in, especially if you
Absolutely.
made it this far in the video. We truly appreciate it. Just leave a like, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already.
Do that.
Tell a friend about it. Watch it on your TV screen like it's Sports Center. Me personally, I think it's better than Sports Center. Me personally, I think we at the same stage of First Take with Stephen A. But that's just
I
me.
would put it up there. Yeah.
You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying?
I put it up there.
Show us some love, but at the end of the day, we're gonna still come in hot every week with the takes and showing you what's happening here in the Crash Out League TV. And we'll catch you guys next week.